Development, test, stage, production, development, test, stage, production, development.
Yeah, hello. So, yeah, it's at my side. Yeah, it's. Let me see. It's close to 11 p.m. Yeah, close to 20 minutes. And yeah, I call it after hours. You know, that kind of streams or accidentally unexpected streaming. And yeah, the reason for that, why I start with that stream, is I got a question here on a YouTube video I did related to a Python application. And it is related to comparison Cloud Foundry and IBM Cloud Code Engine, I guess, with the Code Engine that means. And what I want to do, I don't want to answer all that question in there, because that could be, yeah, it's a kind of usage model, yeah. So I will answer that with some text. I would say I just want to take that chance, which reminds me that I can create an application. I just create a Python application using Code Engine. And for that, I just start and I just do it now here on that. And I start with the creation in the term that what do we need? Yeah, we need in that case we need some source code. We want the application itself. That's a little bit different also to the when you start with Cloud Foundry, then you get an example application automated instantiated. That's not the case when we have it here with the Code Engine. So I searched for a very simple application on GitHub for Python application, and what I choose, yeah, is an awesome simple one, yeah, which is made by a colleague of mine. He do also very great and blog posts and streaming and all that stuff with Twitch and so on. And what I found here, he created some times ago a Python GitHub project. So I took that. I want to take that GitHub project. Yeah. So that's like here. And now because I use it also. Yeah. I want to start it, not to forget. And here you can see he used it to show different other topics, also with initially with OpenShift and so on. He also has some examples for Code Engine, but now I do streaming here and I visualize what he uses. Yeah. So and so let's go through. We use that. Yeah, that code. So we have that code. So that means that's done. So we have the source code, and we have where we need to verify what we are going to use. We're going to use a Dockerfile, because what you need to know when we now going to deploy an application to Code Engine, that's in container. So a container will be built. That's important to know for later on. Yeah. So, and it's also a Dockerfile in there, which describes how to build the application, and I will use that. And yeah, let's move on how all that works. Yeah, that's my private account here. So just to give you a short impression what the difference is between what I said with the usage models of Cloud Foundry and Code Engine. If you do not know that, is the Code Engine is serverless. It scales really to 0. Yeah. So if you do not run your application, you don't pay. And if you run a Cloud Foundry application, you always pay. So that's the difference. So one is continuously running even if you don't use it, or that means if somebody don't use your application. And the serverless one is you only pay for it in a moment when it's used, and that's the major difference. So let me go here to the code engine, here section where the projects are, and I create a project. I will call Python, yeah, example. So let's see if this already exists, that name. So, oh, hey, yeah, yeah. I was a little bit fast, but that's okay. Now, the region where I created now, yeah, in Japan, I haven't, yeah, I didn't, yeah. Yeah, but that's okay. Then we just use that location. So later on we need to verify these for the other settings. Yeah, okay, that's our location then. Yeah, and now we're going to the project and get a short overview here what you see. Later on, the important stuff with coaching is that you have running an application inside the project. Yeah, there are possibility to have different kind of applications which really represent your application. I also created a workshop for that. As I said, I don't want to dig too deep. I just want really just to create an application and not to spend too much time with all, yeah, digging what is behind and so on. So, okay, so what we want to do, we have the objective that we want to run later on an application here in Code Engine. So let us see. So we have the source code. Okay, that's what we obviously have. And now we have yeah, an IBM Cloud account, we have the Code Engine, and we want to run the application later on here. And when we take a look at that, when we are going to run that application later on, how do we get now these application, this container, yeah, the container, to an application? So how can we manage that? As you know, as a container, yeah, we must have a container image, and these container images are normally stored in a container registry, yeah. And what we need to do, then we going to going to utilize a container registry. I utilize the container registry here of the IBM Cloud, which also provides a container registry. And yeah, to access that container registry, because that's at the moment that's then not public, yeah, so that's only our one. And yeah, therefore we need to define an access so that we really can access this container registry. So, and for that, first I will create an namespace inside the container registry where we store our container image, and then I will define the access inside Code Engine so that we are able to access the container registry. Yeah, okay, jetzt let us open up this other one, Kubernetes registry. Here's the registry. So, and now Osaka I used here, and then I create a namespace here. I call this namespace Python example. Okay, let's see if somebody already used it. It is always when you create here, and for example namespace and that project, it's always unique, yeah, to the region where you are. And the next is that we are going to take a look at the the source code once more. Here's the container. Here is the the Dockerfile. Yeah, here's the Dockerfile. So, and here's our container registry, and that's the code engine. And go back to our email, our drawing. I adjusted some drawings in front of that stream so that I'm a little bit prepared for that stream. So, but not so much as you have seen, because the question is not too long ago. Yeah, going back here. So now we define the registry access. So what I said here, that's here. Now we are going to find that the registry access. We have this container registry, the namespace defined here, and now we're going to define and registry access. And we can create this here, and that's we will not do with a Docker Hub. Yeah, we have here, and we give these a name. So I say it here. That is my also Python example registry key. Yeah. So okay. What we now also need, we also need to define where is our registry based. So, and for that I need here Osaka. Yeah, that is what I need here. Here's region set. Yeah, here's it. Docker push. That's important to know. That's our URL. We need to know. And as you can see here, it is very good that you have the ability. You can just go through the quick starts, which are also related to the services and so on, and then go that. So what we need here, yeah. So we need to know where is our container registry placed. So the URL. Yeah. That is what we need. And then you directly see, oh, it says, oh yeah, okay, that's here, that server I know, that's IBM. So then we need an IAM API key, an IBM. So that is what I said here, because when we want to access later all that stuff, we need some an authorization for that. And these will be done with, I will open up here, manage access, and here the API key, and here I will create a new API key and call it also, so that I can remember it, what it is. So that's the key, and I will delete it immediately after the stream. So Python example, because that's the key. Yeah, you can use to access different services and so on your IBM Cloud account. Okay, let me also say that's the key. Oh, I just copy it. So, and here now I insert that, and then I can provide a name, but that's not in that moment really necessary. Okay, I have now created this key. So now I have access, yeah, to the container registry placed here in Osaka. Yeah, okay, so that's done. What we need now to do, now we want that these awesome application we want to store in that container registry. Yeah, so, and the next is what we are going to do with that is that we are going to define image builds, because what you notice when we go back here for the next step, our container image will be deployed, yeah, to the code engine, yeah, and instantiated and run as an application. And that's all in quota. And as you can see, by the way, we do not define any YAMLs and so on when you normally use clusters and so on, yeah. So that is yeah, what you have to keep in mind, what is also different to Cloud Foundry. That's really you are responsible for the container. That means you know what a container is, but you do not have to build it. Yeah. So what I use at that moment, I only use the information where the Docker file is. Yeah. So that is what I will use. So now I go to create that. What we say, I want to give that a name. I call this also, that is my Python example. So that is the name data of the image what we will have, or not of the image, of the image build what we have. And then now we're going to say that is here this GitHub URL. I could also create a fork, yeah, but I don't want to change anything. Yeah, I just leave it as it is, and yeah, so I can also use it. So it's really about only, yeah, deploying that application. So that's a public repository. I do not need an access for that. So that means I do not need to access here the source code. And then we need to know which branch it is. Yeah, which branch it is. It's called master. So we need here. Yeah. Maybe you notice they changed it from master to main. Yeah, and sometimes that cause some problems. And yeah. Let me see what the next name is. So here is it master, and the context directory. Where does the Dockerfile live? It does live in the root context, so I do not need to specify additional path information at the moment here. So next step. We use the strategy with Dockerfile. So, and that is also the name. So that is important also to know when you are going to build it. Here, that's the name Dockerfile. If this would be different, yeah, so we must use a different name. So as you can see, you could also create using cloud native build pack. So that is the moment when we would use directly the source code. Yeah, that would be then the option. But now we're going to use here the Dockerfile. Yeah, I reduced that a little bit. Yeah, to a small one. And yeah, timeout 10 minutes. That is not the registry I want to use, as I is here what it was. Osaka, yeah, that's the second one. And you can see the namespace is here. So now we give these a name. So let me give the so and we will say that's the version 1. Okay, and that's all. Now we are done with that. So now we created here build, and we can run now that build. That means here we have everything configured so that we now would have here a build with all the information. And now with that information, first of all, we yeah, that's better. It's better to show that picture. So we now are able to really to go that way, though, that we can trigger the build here, that we can create that container image here. So with that build, we submit now that build. And then we can watch how it will be built. It takes a bit. So yeah. So you can see here the source. You can verify the different steps inside building the container. When all this is done, it will be pushed to the registry. Yeah, so a little bit music. I do not know like the music. Yeah. By the way, but I created the music. The spare time. Or music. Playing the drums. Or watching here. Building code. Oh yeah, we are close. Is it ready? Exporting image to very close to. So let us take a look into what will be the next steps. Here we want to have later on an application running. So what we have this registry access. We have no access to a code repository. That is when we would have not this public repository access, what I already have here in that situation. And then we would do the same for the GitHub. Okay, let us take a look into the container registry here. Yeah. So it's still not built. Oh, now it's ready. Oh no, it's not ready. It's still running. Something takes a little bit time. Is there pushing? It's done. Still running. It takes a little bit. Yeah. So. Yeah, just be in here now. The repository. Now we have it here, and we see here directly the security scanning starts. Yeah, that's our image. Cool. Everything is here. Yeah. Okay. So going back to the application, and now we deploy the application. So that means yeah, we have done that. That's okay. And now we go to deploy the application. That means the container image, so that the container runs. We say here now we create an application and we call this application here. First, before I do that, I will just copy here the name of the image build here when we have it, so that because here the output, that's the output name, that's the name here what we will insert, where we will get the container from. That's a container registry information. So, and that is the reason why I want to get it before I start to create the application here. So now that is what I want to reference. Yeah, container, and we say here that is our we call that also our Python example. I do not specify an additional port information at the moment. And if you really want to dig more in depth in all that stuff, I also created a really a workshop which contains a lot of more content and different topics, and also the information of a more complex application, not application like this. Okay, so that I really only want to create now the application. Okay, then what I need to do here with the registry access, public, I did it wrong here. What does where was configure image? I forgot to do that. Sorry. So the registry access is not here. We want to access the registry here. So we have that key. So that what I said, that's always good to do. Have some errors here. That means, for sure, as I said, that's not private. Yeah, and when it's not private, we need that key. That was the reason why we did set up that key and the access. So, and that, now we have it. Now, now we can create this. So now it's deploying. Yeah. Python example. I forgot. The version 1. Dot. So now we got it. Yeah. It's a little bit late. Okay. So we can open up also the image registry from here. Verify it. Yeah, with that, you also have noticed so that each configuration is stored. So, and now the application is ready. Oh no, the status is ready, the application is ready. And we can go to the application. Open up the application. And see here. The application is ready and runs. Yeah, thanks JJ. Awesome project. Yeah, and that's all I want to show. And as I said here, as an answer to your question, you have to calculate what makes sense to you, basing on the pricing models, and as I said, basic on your pricing, on the pricing models and what you want to do. Yeah, and I do not know what is the best to choose from that perspective. So you have to decide, is it just to play around? I would like to say just to play around, and okay, I will not work too much with that application. Yeah, continuously, and it's just it's there, then I would go with in the first step with Code Engine. And if I already know, I will continuously run it, and then in the first step I will go with Cloud Foundry. So that's from my perspective, my personal perspective. Yeah, from when I would run it on my private account and I would have to pay. So it's about the usage, and you have to decide what is the best usage. So with all that in mind, yeah, that's all I can say. And I would say thank you very much for watching these late night these after hours accidentally live stream, and hopefully it was useful for you. Yeah, I did some mistakes, that's good. So that you have seen again what you can do wrong, and understand it much better. Yeah, avoid it and know the reason when something doesn't work. Yeah, and yeah, I will now switch off the live stream, and I say if you liked it, subscribe, and I say bye.